Yo ninjas, so right now want to talk a bit more about Akira Toriyama and some of the important messages out there that I have seen when scrolling on the phone and also on the interweb. So I wanted to go over a few messages that I saw, also from Tite Kubo, the creator of BLEACH, Yusuke Murata, the artist of One Punch Man, and of course, one of the most, or maybe one or the most important voices, Masako Nozawa, the voice actor of Goku, left a message as well, Toei Animation, and many others. So I want to go through that in this video. So if you, in case you have not seen it on the social media or want to hear about them, then we can read it together, or I read it for you, and then you can just listen. And so let's go through it. So on Twitter/X, I found of Danny Bleach with a message that said, Bleach creator Tite Kubo speaks on Akira Toriyama's unfortunate passing. Mr. Tite Kubo said, it would be strange to write a diary without mentioning this, so I'll just talk about something serious. Personally, I don't feel any loneliness or pain. I'm not saying there aren't any at all, but there aren't as many as I thought. It's the death of someone I've read since I was a child, someone works in the same magazine as me, and someone I'm deeply influenced by. So it feels different than when I deal with death in general, but that's why I feel like it doesn't exist. I've never really talked about this to anyone, but I've always believed that creating things means expanding your sensibilities and expanding your life. This is because I believe that as long as the work exists, the author is not dead. And I believe that being able to properly get used to this feeling is proof of the magnitude of the work's existence that remains in my heart. That's all. From the next post, I will continue with my usual enthusiasm. Jackie Chan also left a message, and you have to understand that Jackie Chan is a major influence on Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball. Like when Akira Toriyama and his editor, like Akira Toriyama didn't want to work on Dr. Slump anymore, and his editor said like, okay, yeah, sure, but you first have to make something that's better than Dr. Slump. So they were like contemplating or thinking what is the next piece of manga, the next series. And then at some point, Akira Toriyama's wife comes in with tea, and they were talking about it, and she was like, hey, well, always when Akira Toriyama is drawing manga, he watches these kung fu movies, you know, with Jackie Chan, Drunken Master and all that. And then at some point something clicked, like, yeah, oh wait a second, yeah, why not draw like a kung fu manga or martial arts manga or something like that? So then they started to create a one-shot to test it out. It's called Dragon Boy, the one-shot of Dragon Ball, before Dragon Ball even existed. So they tested it out in the Shonen Jump magazine to see if people liked it, and they got good receivings, that the people enjoyed it. So then they went switching to what we now know as Dragon Ball. So, and Jackie Chan was a major influence with his Drunken Master also on Dragon Ball. Yeah, of course you have Journey to the West and all the tales, but Jackie Chan in the Kung Fu movies was definitely a major part also how Dragon Ball came to exist. So this is also why Jackie Chan is important to Dragon Ball as well. And he also sent a message like, Mr. Akira Toriyama, thank you for creating so many classics. They remain timeless. Rest in peace. And you have some pictures also, Akira Toriyama with them chilling and all that. And, you know, I think he really loved also to see Jackie Chan and how his Goku, yeah, came to existence. Masako Nozawa-san has revealed her comment on Toriyama's passing as well. She said, I don't want to believe it. My head is empty because I don't want to think about it. Even so, every time I see Goku, I remember what Toriyama sensei said to me. You will take care of Goku, won't you? I cherish that moment. It makes me think, I will stay by Goku's side until my strength runs out completely. Sensei, please watch over us from the heavens. We hope you depart in peace. Masako Nozawa. She is the voice of Goku. Here's the message of Yusuke Murata, who also goes by the name Nebukuro on Twitter/X, and he shared a few messages. He said, "There were many things that I could receive from Mr. Toriyama. I humble pray for your soul to rest in peace. Strangely, I don't feel like I've died at all. That's probably why he was like a star in the sky to me even before he was alive." I'm not sure if the translation was correct, but that's one of the messages that he said. He also said, "I'm grateful for the huge influence you have left on me, and for the time being I will work while trying to organize my mind. Thank you, Mr. Toriyama." When I started serializing it, I thought to myself, if it's published in Jump, maybe Toriyama-sensei will even read what I've drawn. Which really supported me. Ta. This may seem strange given the professionalism that teachers are valued for, but it really was. I feel like I chose this path not because I wanted to be a manga artist, but because I wanted to be like Toriyama-sensei. I wanted to draw like Toriyama-sensei. Shortly after the series started, when I met him, he cheerfully told me, a newcomer to Pei about the background of Dragon Quest's character design, and I was struck by his kind personality. And I was struck by how strong he was, yet incredibly cheerful and personable. I felt that Goku and Arel, who didn't cause tension, were definitely born from this person. It happened so suddenly that I was stunned for a day. Maybe it's sadness or emptiness, but I still can't accept the huge hole that suddenly opened up. Toei Animation, the animators of Dragon Ball and Z, most of the biggest reason why in the West you probably also know about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, they say, "We are deeply saddened upon hearing of the passing of Akira Toriyama. We offer our sincere condolences to his family. Within our company, we have many staff members who worked on contributed to the masterpiece such as Dr. Slump, Arele and the Dragon Ball series, and who all deeply respect Toriyama-sensei. We are truly grateful for his guidance and contributions to our productions. It was such a great honor for us to be able to adapt the works of such a beloved creator, cherished around the world. We offer our prayers for Akira Toriyama's eternal peace. We thank him for all the joy he brought to us." Toei Animation. Also here a message from Cartoon Network, one of the first places that I personally saw Dragon Ball Z for the first time, which was on Cartoon Network. First it was in the midday, like 5 o'clock, and then it was a recap around 9 at TV. But yeah, if you're a little ninja, you already almost have to sleep by that time. But Cartoon Network here also has a message. "Rest in peace to the manga legend Akira Toriyama. The artistry and monumental impact of Dragon Ball will live on in the hearts of fans and creators for generations to come. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama." Also, Kodansha responded to Akira Toriyama. They also published, for example, Devilman, Seven Deadly Sins, Hajime no Ippo, Akira, Mobile Suit Gundam, Parasite, Great Teacher Onizuka, Fairy Tail, Attack on Titan, and many more titles. They said, "Though the manga industry has suffered an incalculable loss with the passing of Akira Toriyama, our world, our imaginations, and our hearts were made so much brighter by his creative light. Our condolences to the Toriyama family. Thank you for all your hard work, Toriyama-sensei." Also, one of the big names of Fairy Tail, the creator Hiro Mashima, left this brief heartfelt message on X/Twitter where he said, "Without Toriyama-sensei, I would not have become a manga artist. I am sad." Hiro Mashima was also inspired by Dragon Ball, just like Eiichiro Oda, Naruto, Bleach, and many others that also made a name for themselves in the manga world. Kim Young-gi US said, "Stonehound's drawing of Goku reflects the influential style of artist Akira Toriyama. While Akira Toriyama has left a significant impact on cartoon art, Dragon Ball stands out as a crucial guide to comic drawing. In it, complex human muscles are simplified with minimal strokes and exaggerated for effect. And then you see the drawing here. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. And Stonehouse drew this. I'm not exactly what it all says over here, but there are a lot of notes, I believe in Korean. So if you can read it, let us know in the comments. But yeah, that just shows how big of an impact the whole design of Akira Toriyama was and how it influenced other people. Like many of you probably as well as I. Also, one of the most important messages from Akira Toriyama's passing is from Jump magazine, where he was published with Shueisha. Akira Toriyama, whose many works were published in Jump magazine, has passed away. The entire Shueisha editorial department is deeply saddened by the news of his sudden passing. Dr. Slump, Dragon Ball, Sandland, the manga drawn by him have transcended national borders and have been read and loved all over the world. In addition, the charming characters created by his teacher and his overwhelming design sense have had a great influence on many manga artists and creators. I would like to express my gratitude to him for his great achievements and pray for his soul to rest in peace. Weekly Shonen Jump Editorial Department, V Jump Editorial Department, Jump SQ Editorial Department, Strongest Jump Editorial Department, Shonen Jump Plus Editorial Department. We received comments from Bird Studio Co., Ltd. Capsule Corporation Tokyo Ltd. And people who were close friends with the professor. To all fans and related parties, this is a sudden announcement, but manga artist Akira Toriyama passed away on 1st of March due to an acute subdural hematome. He was 68 years old. It's a shame because he had a lot of work to do and there were still things he wanted to accomplish. It's a shame because he had a lot of work to do and there were still things he wanted to accomplish. However, the deceased left behind many works as a manga artist. His support from many people around the world has enabled him to continue his creative career for over 45 years. I sincerely hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of works will continue to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. We are deeply grateful for his kindness during his life, and we would like to respectfully inform you of this. His funeral was held only by his close relatives. Due to his wish for peace and quiet, we will decline any condolence messages, condolences, offerings, flowers, etc. for him. We kindly request that you refrain from conducting interviews with his family. Future farewell parties, etc. have not yet been decided, but we will let you know as soon as they are decided. Thank you for understanding. March 8, 2024, Bird Studio, Capsule Corporation, Tokyo, Go. A message from Dragon Quest game designer Yuji Horii. I'm still in disbelief at the news of Mr. Toriyama's death, which was so sudden. I've known Toriyama since I was a writer for a Shonen Jump, and with the recommendation of Toriyama-san, the editor in charge, I decided to ask him to draw the game when we launched Dragon Quest. In the 37 years since then, I have been involved in character designs, monster designs, and countless charming characters. The history of Dragon Quest is based on Toriyama's character designs. Toriyama-san and the late Sugiyama sensei were friends who worked on Dragon Quest for a long time. That he would die, I don't know what else to say. I'm really disappointed. Masakazu Katsura, who is also a Japanese manga artist who worked also on, or his works is Wingman, Shadow Lady, DNA, Video Girl AI, Eyes, Zetman. Also worked as a character designer for Iria, Zeram, the animation, Tiger and Bunny, Garo, Guren no Tsuki, and a video game called Astral Chain. He is also a manga artist and character designer. Mr. Masakazu Katsura. This isn't something I wanted to write about, but I'm going to write something. As I start writing, there are so many things I want to say. I believe this is going to become a long message, but I'll try to keep it short. However, my feelings are in disarray. I apologize for the disorganized thoughts. Upon reflection, without any exaggeration, all the moments, be it visiting his house, his stay at mine, or our outings, are filled with nothing but happy memories. Whenever we were on the phone call, I laughed so much that it became tiring. He was funny. He was a cheeky, cute, sharp-tongued, and humble. Within manga, we didn't joint work, and that was fun as well. But our relationship was something where 99% of the time we never talked about manga. As a manga creator, the things he saw, and as an author, he was on a different level that I never felt the greatness. Of course, I know his greatness, but interacting with him, you never felt it a single bit. It's just who he was. That's why even now I see him more as a friend than a renowned manga creator. Last summer he heard about my surgery and sent me an email before the operation. An email from him was really rare, like really rare, and it was a message expressing concern and care about my well-being. Although we've been friends for 40 years, it was the first time he had been so nice to me. I thought it was going to snow. Usually he'd crack a joke or we talk about something insignificant. What's the deal? It's not the time to be worrying about others. Seriously. We spoke on the phone a bit before that and I was unwell. I said, I'm probably going to go before you, so you have to organize and do a farewell for me. Also give a speech to add a special touch. We made a promise, but he didn't keep it. I'm full of regret that I didn't call him after receiving his email. I'm deeply saddened that I won't be able to have silly long phone calls anymore. I have a mountain of things I want to talk about. There are a lot of things I want to share. If it doesn't interest you, as usual, you can listen with half an ear, but I want to talk to him once more. You replied, okay, to my email that said, let's talk again. That can't be your last message. I'm truly heartbroken. Masakazu Katsura. Yeah, I'm gonna read this again because it's part of Shueisha, so I wanted to read it again. And for those who have not heard it yet, here's a message from Eiichiro Oda and Masashi Kishimoto. It's too early, the hole is too big. The thought of never seeing you again fills me with sadness. I've admired you so much since I was a child, and I even remember the day when you called me by name for the first time. I also miss the day when I had a great time with Mr. Kishimoto on the way home from the day when he used the word friend for us. I also remember the last conversation we had. He is one of the people who took the baton from an era when reading manga would make you stupid and created an era where both adults and children read and enjoy manga. He showed us the dream that manga can do things like this and that we can go to the world. He gave it to me. It was like watching a hero push forward. Not only manga artists, but creators active in all industries, and excitement of his Dragon Ball serialization is probably rooted in their childhood. That existence is a great tree. For manga artists of my generation who have stood on the same stage, the closer I got to Toriyama's works, the more I realized that they had a greater presence, almost scary. But I'm just happy to see the easygoing man himself again. Because we love Toriyama sensei on a blood level. I would like to express my respect and gratitude to the world of creativity left behind by Professor Toriyama and pray for his repose in peace. I hope that heaven will be a pleasant world just as you envisioned it. Mr. Masashi Kishimoto. Honestly, I don't know what to write or how to write about something so sudden. However, for now, I would like to express my thoughts and feelings to Toriyama sensei, something I wish he would have asked me someday. I grew up with Dr. Slump in the low grades of elementary school and Dragon Ball in the upper grades, and it was natural for me to have his manga next to me as part of life. Even if I had a bad experience, watching Dragon Ball every week made me forget about it. It was a relief for me, a country boy who had nothing. Because Dragon Ball was really fun. It was when I was a university student, suddenly the Dragon Ball that had been part of my life for so many years ended. I felt incredible sense of loss, and I didn't know what to look forward to. But at the same time, it was also an opportunity for me to truly understand the greatness of the teacher who created Dragon Ball. I also want to create works like yours. I want to be like my teacher. As I followed in my teacher's footsteps and aspired to become a manga artist, that feeling of loss began to disappear. Because making comics was fun. I was able to find new fun by following my teacher. My teacher has always been my guide. I admired it. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I would like to express my gratitude to the teacher. For me, he was the god of salvation and the god of manga. When we met for the first time, I was so nervous that I couldn't say a word. However, after meeting him many times at the Tezuka Prize screening committee, we became able to talk. As Dragon Ball children, I and Mr. Oda went back to being children again, and when we talked excitedly about how much Dragon Ball was fun, as if we were competing with each other. I forgot how he looked a little shy and smiled. I can't. I've just received the news of Mr. I still feel even a greater sense of loss than when Dragon Ball ended. I still don't know how to deal with this hole in my heart. Now I can't even read my favorite Dragon Ball. I don't feel like I've been able to properly write this sentence that I want to convey to my teacher. Everyone around the world was looking forward to seeing your work. If one Dragon Ball wish really comes true, I'm sorry. Maybe that's selfish, but it's sad, Sensei. Thank you, Akira Toriyama Sensei, for all of your enjoyable works over the past 45 years, and thank you very much for your hard work. We are sure that the remaining family members are still deeply hurt. Please take care of yourself. I pray that Mr. Akira Toriyama may rest in peace. Masashi Kishimoto. Here Takachiho Aruka shared, this is the draft I received from Akira Toriyama, his pencil drawing that was rejected by the editor. There were many of these drawings at his house and he told me that I could take as many as I wanted. But I hesitated and only got a few of them. And here you see the sketch page that Akira Toriyama sensei gave to him. Really cool to see his sketch work, his draft papermanship that unfortunately was not agreed to, but it's cool to see, you know, the steps for making manga. Here's also a clip from Jump Ryu where Togashi, the creator of Hunter x Hunter, is speaking about Akira Toriyama and Dragon Ball.
結局見てしまいました。はい。先生にとって鳥山先生というのは、そうですね。まあ、非常にありきたりですけど、まあ神なので、天井人ですね。もう、やはり、ジャンプでやっていて、鳥山先生がいなかったら、もうおそらくここにもいないというぐらい、もう影響も受け、そして、まあ、目標ではないな。目標ではないけれども、なるべく近づきたい存在。なので、今も、心の支えにして頑張ってます。
Toriyama definitely meant a lot for Togashi as well. He just sees him as a god or wants to get closer to him, keeping to work hard, which is really inspirational as well to hear that one other legend like Togashi, who made Hunter x Hunter, also was inspired by Toriyama. Someone shared a message, Mion ZZ. He shared Masako Nozawa, the story of being chosen by Akira Toriyama at an audition, saying, "This is Son Goku." Kazuhiko Torishima, Mr. Nozawa gets the highest performance fee. Apparently he wanted to choose someone else to keep the budget as compact as possible. When Mr. Toriyama heard about it, he immediately said, "I like this person." Lol. Nas Chris, that's also a great story. Masako Nozawa, she chose me. I was happy. When Toriyama sensei spoke to me, as for the voice actors, I heard that only Goku and Bulma were auditioned and the rest were nominated. Masako Nozawa, what do you think? Gozo Morishita. But back then, like now, the original author was still the main character. Masako Nozawa, the rest is up to you, to producers and directors. Kazuhiko Torishima, that's exactly what Mr. Morishita said. I was in charge of the original work and the manga, but I asked the same question and I agree with what you said. It's mostly about the main character and heroine. Studio MDHR from Cuphead also had a message. We were extremely saddened to hear of the tragic passing of the legend Akira Toriyama. The impact of his work on our team and animation as a whole is incalculable, and we will be forever thankful for how his artistry has shaped us. Here James Shimoi also shared on X. If Osamu Tezuka is the god of manga, Akira Toriyama was the revolutionary child of manga. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Dr. Slump is the beginning of a new type of manga expression that connects the modern era. and is completely different from the manga that existed up until then. Thank you for your wonderful work. Palms together. And here you see the page that he worked on. You see this awesome looking house with the scenery, close up, character expressions, and the total mid shot. So Naz Pasha also shared his message on X. I already saw him years ago on DeviantArt about his work, and finally his movie is now out for a while now. It's really top tier animation, fan art animation technically. If I could trace my artistic catalyst back 100 times, I would always land on Dragon Ball. The real life attributes I observed through the tales of Son Goku and friends will be forever my treasure. Thank you, Mr. Toriyama, for being #1. With an awesome fan art here. Well, his whole work is an amazing fan art piece. A Dragon Ball tale. He also shared a letter of it. To Mr. Akira Toriyama, I was 5 years old when I realized that the possibility of something outrageous and so unlikely may be true. Hulk Hogan may be stronger than my dad. I had to come to terms with it, but still I would fight the notion and give it into disbelief. No one can be stronger than my dad. It's just not humanly possible. It was the time that I had first seen Goku on TV for a commercial of Dragon Ball, the animated series. Similarly, with the same incredulity, I thought to myself, what a stupid idea. This kid can't be so strong to fight adults. It goes without necessarily saying that what Akira Toriyama gave to the world through his art and enthusiasm is absolutely immeasurable by every metric. I'm not talking about the mastery of his pen, nor do I mean the size of his legacy through games, comics and anime. How the Greeks would tell tales of Hercules to inspire young boys to become great men. Toriyama-san has given us our generation's Hercules through Son Goku and the epics upon which he embarks. He taught us how mighty is a man, how great is a friend, and how awesome is it to be a father. It's unbelievable how a fiction could give such a real-life value to so many young boys. We really yelled Kaioken when needing just a bit more stamina on the soccer field. We really ran such silly stiff-armed runs, imagining that if it made us faster somehow, it just had to. Goku did it. We really want to learn how to use chopsticks and eat ravenously bowl after bowl of rice, right up to our faces. Yeah, that's true. Among many, there are 2 reasons why this loss carries such a heavy weight on me. The first is that discovering Dragon Ball Z through a gift that my good friend had gifted me one Christmas day was the seminal moment of me wanting to become a serious artist. The years and years of drawing Dragon Ball that came as a result has shaped me into what I am today, as both an artist and a man. The second reason that this shock may be long-lasting to me and many others is that with Akira Toriyama's passing, Dragon Ball may feel it went from an is to a was. How great it was. What fantastic jokes they were. How crazy was that battle. An artist in some way always ends up sneaking a bit of themselves into the art they really care about making. From the gesture of a hand to the angle of a smile, it happens whether we like it or not. Though most of us never had the privilege of knowing Akira Toriyama beyond his works, I think we all imagined in some way that bright smile, that friendly wave, and the feeling that you in trouble? I got you. Losing the master himself makes me feel like Son Goku, the fiction, has left the world with him. Definitely now is the time to lament and also to never forget the joy we had as kids watching the first Super Saiyan be born. Damn. Going back there, man, seeing Super Saiyan for the first time on TV, holy shit. I literally got goosebumps when I watched it, and even now, thinking about it, getting it. He also said, the enthusiasm we had to just talk, draw and play, fight, anything Dragon Ball. The real-life passion and determination brewed up in the late night hours when thinking of training in 100 times gravity and getting our house in order. Yeah, man. To Mr. Akira Toriyama, bless you for being number one. Nasir Pasha, March 8, 2024. A beautiful message. I do still think it's impossible that anyone is stronger than my father. I hope my daughter grows up to think the same of me, just like Gohan did about his dad. Tokyo Otaku Mode says, we're still trying to process this one. It's hard to even begin talking about how much of an impact Akira Toriyama had on our childhoods and on anime, game, pop culture as a whole. Rest in peace to a true legend. Also, a few artists I've been following for a while now also commented about Akira Toriyama. They also create SPACEPOP, which is a manga that's coming out soon, or they've been working on for a while now. I've been following them, and yeah, it's definitely also something to check out when the time is ready. So Cory and Sebas work together on SPACEPOP, and they had a special message for Akira Toriyama. March 9, 2024. As long life fans of Akira Toriyama, Sebas and I find it essential to pay tribute not only to why SPACEPOP is important, but also to the creator that brought us together. Dragon Ball Z was the gateway for manga and anime fans, whether it was by the action or the iconic character design. You knew the work. Toriyama birthed multiple generations of creators who dared to dream the impossible. Cory says, in the early days of Toonami, I remember going to a second-hand video game store and buying a 5-episode fan subs of Dragon Ball Z on VHS tapes. The Frieza saga in the States stopped just before Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time. Anyone else remember those dark times? I'm looking at you, Ocean Dub. I can't express how much Toriyama's work helped form core elements of SPACEPOP. You can have the fun and goofy but also universe-ending stakes that drive those hero moments, making you grin from ear to ear. The most important lesson I've learned from Toriyama's works that I hope to pass on: sometimes you have to hold out just a little longer, better times are coming. Sebastian says, the legend himself, the main reason I'm a comic artist, has passed away at the age of just 68. When I was a child, Dragon Ball awakened in me the desire to become a comic manga artist, and here I am, working with the same desire intact. Thanks a lot for your massive contribution to the manga world, arguably the most important and influential of all time. Rest in peace, Akira. Your legacy will live on in our hearts forever. Thank you, Akira Toriyama. Fly with ease. Team Pop. And here's a fan art shared by Kenny at Hiatus. Thank you, Toriyama Sensei. And here you see Guts from Berserk and Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Standing next to Goku. So not so long ago, Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Also passed away, and Kentaro Miura from Berserk, they both also recently passed away a few years ago. It's almost like after each year another legend goes, and now they will be joined by Akira Toriyama Sensei. Here also Malky Rob on X shared, Akira Toriyama's work drew a lot of inspiration for Sega to create the Sonic the Hedgehog series. And as you can see here, you see Tails there, like doing the helicopter like Goku, or Sonic, you know, becoming Super Saiyan with a goodbye message. I'm not sure if that's legit. And you have like the 7 Dragon Balls, they had their 7 gems. So that was also a big influence on other media, like with Sega here and the Sonic Hedgehog series. Stealth on X also shared, when Miyamoto was creating Mario, he was inspired by Akira Toriyama's work Dr. Slump, looking at the way the characters moved to inform his own work. Akira Toriyama's influence on the entertainment being created in the 80s can't be stressed enough. And here you see Arel-chan and Mario here, how their designs are influenced or inspired, you know, that in the gaming world also Akira Toriyama had a big influence. And also FF Gamer here shared, also incredible to think about the wider impact, direct or indirect, that Akira Toriyama had. How many characters and stories would be different if it weren't for his visual art style influence on manga, anime and gaming. And here you see Teen Gohan when he was going to fight Cell. And then you see next to it the model of Cloud from Final Fantasy, how it was also influenced, as you can see in the character designs. The hair, the purple suit, just amazing to see the influence Akira Toriyama and impact had over many different mediums. Here's a little comic by Neneko, and there you see Akira Toriyama as his character. Like he had this as his own sort of mascot character for himself, like many people in Shonen Jump have their own thing, like Eiichiro Oda has a fish, and like Akira Toriyama has this mask, this sort of gas mask. And here you see Akira Toriyama in Snake Way or at Heaven. Come along, time to go. So was I a good cartoonist? And here you see Baba. No, you were rated the best in the universe. Here another comic by DB New Hope, March 1st, 2021. And here you see Akira Toriyama. And there you see King Yama there, waiting at the checking out. Here Genki on X also shared. The Final Fantasy series was directly inspired by Dragon Quest and Akira Toriyama. Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi has said that he got Yoshitake Amano on board to create the world setting of Final Fantasy after looking at what Akira Toriyama and Yuji Horii did for Dragon Quest. Without Toriyama, Final Fantasy would not be the same. Also someone shared this, maybe you already knew it, but it's like, the funniest thing Toriyama ever did was coming up with the most iconic and influential transformation design in fiction, because he got lazy, didn't want to ink Goku's hair anymore. Yeah, that's something I read before somewhere as well, yeah. So Super Saiyan basically come because his assistants or something was like, yeah, I don't want to color these black hair every time in manga, because if you have manga and you traditionally color, well, ink black and white, you have to fill in these big black parts, you know, every single time on every single page. And then because of laziness, quote unquote, they made him go Super Saiyan. And then with Super Saiyan in the manga at least, it's just white, you know, and you just draw the lines. So I guess practically, or for practical reasons and time efficiency, that's how Super Saiyan came to be. Becoming a super mangaka to, you know, go faster by doing less work while coloring those parts. Also here was a thing shared about Toriyama's pen. So Toriyama has a special manga pen. He said like, this pen holder's been my faithful companion since I started using it at age 14. As a child, I wasn't that interested in drawing manga, so I bought it almost accidentally. I usually shorten the handles to my pen holders because I draw worse with the long ones. I've modified this one so the nib is inserted deeply inside. Since becoming a professional illustrator, I have had to buy several pen holders, but in the end I always come back to this one. And I've used it in all pages I have drawn. But I'm careless about using it. And I always have to search for it because I don't know where I put it last. Since I have been drawing less lately, I had to move heaven and earth to find it. It took me more than half an hour to find it this time just to take this photo. Akira Toriyama. And this was a post from 2008. So he also always used the same pen for the whole manga career. Also an important quote of Akira: the method of producing comics in Japan is very hectic, but it's also rewarding because it's possible to do both the story and art all by yourself. In this way, it's possible to bring out one's individuality. If this idea appeals to you, I call on you to try drawing your own manga. Akira Toriyama. And yeah, that's definitely a strength with making manga. You can do art and the story, which is why I think the people that become manga artists or aspire to become one, that's probably one of the reasons. And of course you can work with a 2-team, but you can also do it solo with a few assistants. Maria also shared a few of the last photos that was shared of Akira Toriyama, and you see him here smiling in his later stages of life. Like a lot of times when you search for him, you see a bit more of the older pictures. Also it says, these are the most recent official photos recorded of Akira Toriyama. 3 of them are unpublished and were taken in 2017. Alright ninjas, those were some of the messages that I found to Akira Toriyama. It was really touching and inspirational how he impacted so many people, and still many of you out there that were also impacted by Akira Toriyama's work. And maybe also you can make some fan art for him or as a tribute. Already a lot of you already did it, and I'm also going to do my piece as well. So yeah ninjas, thank you very much for joining once again. And yeah, it's still weird that he is just gone, even though I didn't knew him personally, and most of you probably also didn't knew him personally. But yeah, maybe some of you were lucky enough to meet him at least once in your lifetime, or more times, to meet, you know, someone that inspired you. But yeah, he will always live in our hearts. He left some great work still left on this planet, so like many said out there already, like he will live on in our hearts, and his works are still here to be read. So go back to one of the classic Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or the manga or any how you consumed it, the anime, because he will live through his work until the last person watches, reads it, touches it for the last time. Yes. Rest in peace, Toriyama Sensei, and thank you very much for what you have given us.